What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Ethereum Classic, tickers ETC. I'm going to give you a breakdown of some of the data points, what's been coming out and affecting the crypto market, as well from here, where I see things going. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So I'm going to end the video with some technicals, so stay tuned for that. But starting off, it is up 1%, so $17.82. A lot of good volume somewhat, so $263 million, which in comparison to several weeks ago is definitely a move in the right direction. But despite it being down 24% on the 24-hour, it's doing fairly good on the intraday. So definitely a lot of interesting things is coming. There's been no news specifically today to really justify that other than Powell. So Powell did signal today the fact that he's kind of slowing down, not necessarily going to be willing to cut the rates anytime soon, but at the same time, he's not going to be raising the rates. So once again, that definitely might give the opportunity for cryptocurrency to flourish in the short term. And when it comes down to some of the data points, as I brought up in the past, you really want to look for it to be ingrained in society. So over the last month, there's been about 5 new merchants accepting it as a form of payment. Currently 1,169. And if you like charts as much as myself, you can kind of see this chart right here, nice constant growth, which is exactly what you want to see, whether it be a stock or just an investment altogether. So definitely Ethereum Classic is moving in the right direction. Obviously, what has been getting more and more momentum is this. So the whole ETF application still potentially being maybe approved in the short term. That definitely is getting a lot of people giving Ethereum Classic and obviously cryptocurrencies as a whole a lot of attention. And when it comes down to it, whether we like it or not, whatever happens to Bitcoin, it does trickle down to a lot of the other coins, including Ethereum Classic. So there's a lot more optimism. And so Bitcoin could hit 150,000 by 2025. So Donald, who has been giving a lot of crazy price predictions in the past, obviously take that with a grain of salt. So this is his latest video that he did post. So ETC Spotlight, so ETC network info with 𝗪𝗧𝗛. So once again, he's definitely been out there for a while now, giving a lot of good price predictions, very optimistic on Ethereum Classic. So potentially going back over here, this kind of matches with his original projection. So if it does hit $150 by 2025, then Ethereum Classic in reality could be at least a good 15% of that. So a lot of good things might be coming in the future. But once again, Ethereum Classic is still in its early stages as this cryptocurrency. So it's just going to take time to develop and grow. My own opinion, not a financial advisor, of course. And when it comes down to this, I'll give you an overview of some of the liquidations. I always like to break it down on who is selling, what's causing what. So as of late, there was not necessarily a short squeeze, but shorts are starting to return. As you can see, based on the 31st, there was $612,000 in shorts closing their positions, causing buying pressure and it to go up. Vice versa, 311,000 in longs closing of the positions. So Ethereum Classic is definitely one of the most heavily shorted cryptocurrencies out there. So it's gone through quite a lot of squeezes in the past. So once again, that definitely has opportunity if there is still that positive momentum that does continue to definitely happen. And the technicals are starting to look very good. So looking at the 1 hour chart right now, I do have the 7, 25, and 100-day moving averages, Bollinger Band, and also stochastic RSI and momentum. So a lot of different things going on right here. And I am looking at the 1-day chart. So starting off, it is in the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band and also above all the key pivotal moving averages. So everything right now is looking fairly good for it to break out. Although looking at stochastic RSI, it is getting a little bit high. So most likely it does need to cool off. So probably in the next day or so, you're going to see a little bit more of a plateau, consolidation, and then it will retry again. But looking at the momentum indicator shows number of retail investors, or just the number of investors altogether, are getting in. So definitely that's a nice move. And I kind of did signal that over the last little bit. So my last video I did do on Ethereum Classic, I did say that you should be watching for a rotation from the equities into the cryptocurrency market. And it kind of is coming true. So interesting stuff is on the verge. And like I've said in many videos, when you are doing technicals, you have to look at different viewpoints. You can't just stick to the 1 day, you have to look at the 4 hour, 1 hour, and many other things. So obviously the 4 hour feeds into the 1 day. So based on this, still similar to the 1 day, a lot of optimism. And in this case, looking at the stochastic RSI, it did kind of cool off right down here. So it had that little bit more of a consolidation plateau right here. So potentially, at least in the next several hours, you are most likely going to see a continuation. And looking at some of these key points right here with it at $17.77, it's kind of flirting with this R1. It's been, like I said, kind of back and forth with it, but $16.60 is going to be the next line in the sand, very strong support, and $18.54 is going to be that next strong resistance. As it stands, this R1 is still kind of flirting with it, like I said, so we don't really know whether it's going to stick between this R1 and R2 or the pivot in the R1. But like I mentioned, the technicals are looking fairly optimistic, so I would feel that it's going to be testing this 1854 at least in the short term. But bigger picture, if we kind of go back to that 1 day and just zoom out, I feel like it does have a lot of good momentum to get to at least the $20 mark. At that stage, obviously we'll have to see the circumstances at that time, but I do feel at least $20 might be achievable in the short term. If it does fail to get to that $20 mark, then most likely it is going to retrace back down to possibly around the 1650 range. But I do feel bigger picture that is still fairly healthy for the technicals at least, because consolidation isn't always necessarily a bad thing. If it does break this trend below this $16 mark or 1580, then yes, it is going to continue to probably break down into around the $15 range. But I do feel that a lot of the technicals are looking fairly good, and a lot of capital, like I mentioned, is still rotating out of the equity into the crypto market. But let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing I just wanted to share with you, this is associated to stocks though, but it is a killer promo. So all you have to do is sign up for a free account with Moon, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So even though this is a crypto video, take advantage of these damn promos. They are absolutely amazing, best in the market. Link in the description below and also the comments. And with that said, let's all make a ton of money on Ethereum Classic.